Hey, it's Mac. Welcome to Holistic Health Talk. Hey, today I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite vegan, vegetarian dishes. Man, I'm telling you, I am on a couple of groups and I hear people talking about how do you make these vegan dishes? How do you make these vegetarian dishes? Well, today I'm going to get into my 3 favorite dishes, and I'm telling you, they are nutrient dense, and these dishes will get you the nutrition and the flavor that you want out of food. So if that's what you're interested in, don't go nowhere because we're going to get right into the video. All right, hey, let me tell y'all, I am not a cook. That's what I want to say first. I'm not a cook. I do not like cooking. So if I can make these dishes, I think just about anybody can make a vegan or vegetarian dish. You know, what happened is when I went on vacation one time, I couldn't find the kind of foods that I needed to eat as a vegetarian. And it's a kind of a daunting task, but so what I did, I went into this restaurant, and it looked like a deli too though. And up on their counter, they had these rolls. It was some rolls, looked like, the Asian rolls that a lot of people eat, but they looked like they had veggies in them. So I asked the lady, I said, hey, what are those? She said, oh, those are our veggie rolls. And I asked her what was in them. And when she told me, hey, all of the ingredients that I wanted to eat something truly vegan. So I got some of those rolls, and I'm telling you, they were great. And when I got home, I thought about that, and I said, you know what? Maybe I should make my own veggie rolls. And what I did was substituted and put some of the items or veggies that I like into the veggie rolls. So that kind of inspired me to start making my own food, because I'm telling you, I do not like cooking in the kitchen. I do not like hanging out in the kitchen. That's not me. So I got a couple of dishes that I want to share with you all. But let me also tell you what inspired me. And I think this was during COVID. I don't know. I started watching a lot of cooking shows for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at all these cooking shows because they have a lot of them available. Y'all know that. They got a lot of them available. So I was looking at cooking shows, and after a while, it kind of get to you. I started being really interested in, making dishes and stuff. So I ran across this one chef named Babette, Chef Babette, one time. And she was talking about making these vegan dishes. And I found out that she was in California. So I was like, oh man, wow, hey, that's where I'm at. And only 2 hours away from me, up in Los Angeles, she has her own vegan restaurant, which is called Stuff I Eat. And they make vegan, I think, and vegetarian, I believe, foods. But man, I'm telling you, she really inspired me. I went to one of her seminars up in Los Angeles, and when I got home, I had one of her recipes, and it had some type of tomato sauce, and I think it was some type of pasta. And so I decided to make that dish. And let me tell you, when I made the dish, the sauce was off the chain. I could not believe how good that sauce was. Now, I am the type of vegetarian who say, I eat to live. I don't believe in, being a foodie and all of that and eating. I eat to live. But I'm telling you, when I tasted that sauce, man, that sauce was like, I cannot wait to get some of that sauce. Okay? Now, I'm going to show y'all just a real short clip of Chef Babette. So let me just show this. It's only about 5 minutes, I believe. Check this out, y'all, because she really inspired me to come up with my own special sauce that I'm going to talk about, all right?
So you're going to convince people that are carnivores that this is just as good, huh?
Oh yeah, it is just as good. Look at that. But anyway, okay, so this is just like this amazing casserole that I just happened to think about.
Well, you actually became a vegan out of necessity.
Well,
though.
I had
Okay,
some
tell
real
us.
serious issues.
Okay.
I used to make the largest belches of anybody on the planet. I know if I had been in a contest, I would have been victorious. I just couldn't digest my food, and I had eczema, and I had asthma, and so I just had all kind of stuff going
So far, this is so appetizing.
I guess this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna first saute. I'm using tempeh today.
Okay.
All right. A little bell pepper.
Can we start, Chef?
Yeah.
Green onion. Please dig in. And so you have, but you don't eat anything unless you promise you're gonna be like,
Oh,
yeah.
They'll like it. They'll
So
like it.
okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna dump our tempeh in here.
Okay. Just
And
a little bit of oil.
And
warm oil?
I'm not using oil actually.
Okay.
And because if we get it hot enough, we can just take the isn't it? See, say it louder, louder, louder. They're saying it's delicious.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
anyway,
whoa! This is incredible.
Isn't it?
It's like cheesy.
All right, so
Wow.
then we're gonna. Oh, this is Bragg's liquid amino, so I'm using this instead of salt. And Bragg's is wonderful. This is chipotle, so we want a little bit of spice on that. And we're gonna put a little water in this right here. For those people that don't want to use too much oil and stuff when you're cooking, then just get your skillet hot enough. And take a little water and steam that stuff. Anyway, so this one we're gonna
saute first.
that's saute. So then we're gonna come over here. Don't want to make a mess. And we've got a chipotle sauce that we're making today.
Yours, babe.
Okay, you
So
ready
we're gonna use a cup of milk.
Okay.
That should be about 1 cup.
Is that coconut
We're
milk?
gonna use it's a non-dairy milk. That's most important to me, non-dairy.
You could do coconut if you
Well,
want.
you could do coconut milk. You can do whatever non-dairy milk you want to do.
Okay.
All right. So this is miso. I love miso stuff. You
miso.
too? You like it?
Miso, delicious.
Miso. You know what miso?
Me so hungry.
You heard about miso. All right. So anyway, okay, girl. You wow. Okay. So we
No, I'm
put
good,
a
I'm good.
little bell pepper in there. Quiet on the set. I'm trying to give out this recipe. That was bell pepper. This is agave nectar. I don't
Nice.
use refined sugar.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm using agave. Doesn't spike the blood sugar. A little bit more of this chipotle powder. And I know this is some, but I can't tell what it is right now, so I'm scared
see,
to put
I'm
it
gonna
in
tell
there. What it tastes like?
Oil.
What it tastes like?
Yeah, it's like grapeseed oil.
There you go.
Pop it
Okay, so put that in there. Now, normally I'd put some coconut oil in there, but oh yeah, soaked cashews, you want to soak them and rinse them, and the reason you do that is because nuts have enzyme inhibitors, and they're hard to digest unless you soak them. So we're gonna rinse this, and she's gonna turn it on.
But I'm gonna,
That's how it gets so creamy.
let me
too,
hit this.
right?
That's how it gets creamy. Boom.
So good.
All right.
It
So
really does. It's very
Something you can do
cheesy.
if someone has a nut allergy.
now listen,
good.
if there's a nut allergy, because a lot of us nowadays are allergic to everything. But nut allergies, I'd get some, I'm still a soy girl too. I'd get some silken tofu, and I put that in the place of the nuts and give it use the same ingredients and make it nice and creamy.
So eventually what happens is it looks like this, doesn't it? Right
yes,
there.
that's what the sauce looks like. And
Yeah.
How young are you?
I'm 66.
No way.
Please step back. Everybody.
No way.
Look at that.
What? Oh, yeah.
That's vegan
You know what?
steak.
If now she's washing her
Yeah.
hands too. If that isn't any indication of how eating this food makes that out, that's a really good
That's
sales
crazy.
pitch.
Hey, is that a good sales pitch?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
I
go
wasn't
back
supposed
over
to do that. But anyway, so what we do next is you want to take your red onion and you just layer this with red onion. Yum. Yeah.
A little kick.
And then
Yeah.
we're going to put a little of this chipotle sauce on there.
Did you get your own plate?
No.
Oh, we can share.
We're just a band. Come on, we're the band.
Here.
A little bit
Rest
of
for the man.
cheese on top of
So that's
that.
vegan cheese.
Oh, yeah. Hey, gang, this is, actually, did you guys get the Daya or the Follow Your Heart? You can do either one. They're both vegan cheeses. And I think this is Daya mozzarella.
Beautiful.
So there's no dairy for people that have sensitivities to dairy stuff like me. So now we're going to put our beautiful
Tempeh mixture.
tempeh mixture.
You're at it, bro. You know what? You want to rest?
Damn, I did push-ups.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out what was
Your bright idea.
John, you want to rest?
Well,
You want to sit down and have something to
I'm
eat?
so tired, child. No, I'm all right. No, oh, Chef, all right. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
No.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
More cheese?
No, we're good. Yeah. No, what we're going to do is put more of that sauce on there.
Now that sauce seems like you can
Come
put
on.
it on other things
You
too.
can,
That
you
is
can
so
everything, baby. You can use that sauce on.
Do you ever
like a
burger?
finger. Like you could put that on a finger and it would taste good.
Wow.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah, no.
No, what could I
Substitute a
You
different
what, baby?
protein?
Huh?
Is tempeh always the protein, or can you?
Well, I mean, you know what? Say, for instance, a person just does not want to use the soy. Well, I would just take maybe walnuts.
Oh, that's
Walnuts with bell pepper and green onion, just so it has that texture. Because look, what do you love the most about your meals? Taste and texture. As long as you got that going on,
good.
you really don't care what it is, do
true.
you? All right, so then we're going to put some
have
cheese.
the protein in there.
There you go.
know? You know, a lot of people forget how much protein is in green vegetables.
And vegetables.
Popeye said eat your spinach because it's full of protein.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you remember him?
Yeah.
I remember him. We sprinkle a little bit more of this chipotle powder.
And we pop it in the oven, don't we?
Remember not to take your fingers and put them in your eyes after this.
All right, come on, Babette.
All right, so then she's hurrying me.
We pop it in the oven, right?
Yeah, we're going to pop it in the oven.
Is there a book?
How long does it go in here?
It's going to go in 30 minutes.
Oh, my
Wow.
All right, let's get right into Mac's 3 favorite vegan vegetarian dishes. Hey, like I told y'all, this first one is my raw vegan veggie roll. And when I was on vacation in Florida, and I went into this, I think it was a Filipino restaurant that I went into, and they told me that they had those huge rolls on the counter that was veggie. That inspired me, and of course Chef Babette got me, and she inspired me where I do my own sauces. No more store-bought Lawry's, baby. Get the stuff fresh, y'all. Make your own good, fresh dishes. So let me tell you a little bit about this dish, and then I'm just going to bring it up, y'all, and show y'all a picture of it and read off the ingredients for you. I use all organic, because you get more nutrients when you use organic versus non-organic, fruits and vegetables. And to go a step further, always make sure it's in season. If they're in season, you get just a little bit more of the nutrients and freshness. And it's easier to digest too when you use organic, because they're loaded with enzymes, especially when you get them in their whole form, the fruits or veggies. And, they don't have that pesticide sprayed on them. So, it's better to get organic for that reason. It's safer for the body, and, hey, a lot easier to digest because they have enzymes when you eat raw fruits and veggies. So let me show y'all a picture, and we're going to go right into the ingredients. Now, let me read off the ingredients for y'all on this. Okay, you need 1 jicama, which you're going to cut into 1/4 sticks. It's going to be like sticks, almost like French fries, about 3 inches long. You want to cut up the jicama. Try to slice them kind of thin. And then you're going to get a carrot. Although I'm not too keen on carrots anymore. I've been evolving. Okay, again, y'all, I evolve all the time. Because carrots are a hybrid. And I tend not to use carrots. But, it's okay if you don't want to be that selective. You can use the carrot and grate it. Just grate it up, 1 carrot. And then I get a bell pepper. You can get a red one, yellow, it don't matter. I use a red bell pepper, and I cut it into 1/4 inch thin sticks, about 3 inches long. And then you want to get a small bunch of cilantro, just a small bunch, and you cut it into small pieces. Just chop it up, real good into small pieces. And then you want to get 1 green onion and cut that up into like 2 inches long, 1 or 2 inches, somewhere in there, it doesn't matter. And the mushrooms, you want to get you can buy white button, you can buy shiitake, or you can buy portobello. Doesn't matter, you know. I think I use white button, you know, first. And you want to slice these up. You can buy them sliced too, but I usually buy mine whole and chop them up myself. So you just slice them up in small pieces. Then you want to get you a jalapeno. I like jalapeno. You know, it's not real hot for people that don't like hot. Jalapeno has a kind of a mild spiciness to it. So I chop that up in thin pieces. You can take the seeds out too. Cut it open and you can take the seeds out. You know, that way it won't be real hot having those seeds in there. And just cut it up into like 2-inch long pieces, that jalapeno. And then you get asparagus tips. Now I like the pickled asparagus tips. They come in a jar. And I mean, these things, I tasted them and they are so good to me. You know, I like asparagus anyway. And you can buy them fresh and just chop them up. But what I do with these, they come in a jar and they're pickled and they have, you know, kind of a little twangy flavor to them. So I use those. And then you're going to cut up you some red lettuce. Just get a small head of red leaf lettuce and cut that up. Actually, the red leaf lettuce, you may want to, you know, just keep it in as a whole leaf. You know, cut it down to like one small whole leaf, because that's going to be part of what you wrap all your ingredients in. And then to top it off, all you need then is some rice rounds. Some rice round paper. Okay, they have these rice rounds, or round type of paper made from rice. And usually I have to go to an Asian food market or Asian grocery store to buy the rice rounds. Now, they come usually about 8 inches in diameter. But since we use the metric system a lot, especially, you know, outside of the United States, a lot of countries use metric. They're 22 centimeters. So you get something real close to that, 22 centimeters, or for standard measure, somewhere around 8 inches in diameter. That's a good diameter for your rice rounds. Now we got to get into the sauce. This is Mac's special sauce. I'm giving y'all my recipe now. This is some serious sauce here. You get 1 yellow bell pepper. It could be big, small, don't matter. Just 1 bell pepper. You're going to put all of these ingredients in a blender. So you cut up that bell pepper, put it in the blender. You're going to use 1 teaspoon of Bragg's liquid aminos. And I'll have a picture of this recipe so y'all can get it later. You know, it'll be a picture in the video. And then you want 1 tablespoon of your extra virgin olive oil and 2 tablespoons of your rice vinegar, a 1/2 cup of sweet chili sauce, okay? And then you want 1 cup of dried apricots. The apricots give it a real good flavor, and I like apricots, you know, after making this sauce. You can use other dried fruit, but I would stick with the apricots. And then you want about a 3/4 inch or a 1 inch long piece of ginger. And all you're going to do is chop that ginger up. You know, of course, you got to peel the outside of that ginger off. You know, you peel the outside skin off with a spoon. Usually comes off easy with a spoon. I learned that in my cooking shows, y'all. Okay, watch them cooking shows. And then you just chop it up, dice it up, whatever, real small. And all of this go into a blender. And then also for the sauce, a jalapeno pepper. Okay, now this time you just gonna drop that bad boy in there whole. You want to keep all the seeds in it. And it's not gonna be real hot, trust me, because I don't like, you know, like habanero. I don't like ghost peppers. All that stuff is too hot. So just 1 jalapeno in there, I think will give it a nice spicy flavor. So that's my raw vegan veggie roll. And I'm telling you, this is the ultimate raw vegan dish that I feel. It's real quick and easy to make. Once you chop up all the ingredients, okay, you got to chop up all the veggies, you know. I mean, it's a little work involved, but, you know, you can't appreciate something. You really can't have an appreciation for something if you don't do some work. So all you beginner vegans and vegetarians out there, you know, you got to put a little effort in something to really appreciate it. And I'm telling you, I am not a cook and I still don't like cooking, but I think this is a real easy peasy, as they say, dish to make. Okay, real easy peasy. Once you chop up all those ingredients, you can stick them in the refrigerator, and every day you can make up one of these rolls or make a couple to take to work for you for lunch. Because, you know, I mean, I've been a vegetarian for over 20 years, and I evolved to a pescatarian. And then I'm still evolving because I eat a lot of raw vegan dishes. And now, okay, I'm making my own dishes, which is a lot healthier than eating out, even eating at a vegan or vegetarian restaurant. Making your own food, because you don't know what they put in the food at these restaurants. You know, I only eat certain oils like olive oil and peanut oil. I won't eat any other oil. I try to stay with monosaturated oils. And you know, you just don't know when you go to a restaurant. So this is Max Raw Vegan Veggie Rolls. My first meal that I ever made, my first dish. And I think I made a video on it too. Yeah, hey, y'all, I did. I made a video on it. So maybe I'll stick or attach that video at the end, in the end cards. So y'all look for that. And you may want to check out my Facebook page, because I have a lot of different recipes sometimes on my Facebook page. Max Herb Shop. I'll put a little, I'll have it scrolling in the bottom there below me. Okay, y'all can just email me there, info@holistichealthtalk.org. Email me there and I can send you a copy of my recipe. Or I'll try to stick it in the video here. Now let's get to my second dish. It's Max Korean Spicy Slaw Quinoa. Now let me tell you how this came about. Of course, I was on vacation again. And yeah, I think it was Florida. And I went to this restaurant. It was in a shopping mall, you know, one of those big malls or something down in South Florida or around Orlando or something like that. I went and got this dish, and it came in like a bowl. And it had beans in it. It had this slaw in it, or sauerkraut. I'm not sure which one it was. And it had quinoa and kimchi. Well, actually, I think it had brown rice. I don't think it had quinoa. I think that's what I made it. I added quinoa. So, and then it had kimchi, I believe, on top. And they had some kind of sauce. They poured all over it. And it tasted good. It seemed like a real good raw vegan dish. And when I got back home, I thought about it. I said, man, you know what? I need to make me a dish like that so I can have me a nice, good raw vegan dish, you know, to eat when I'm out and about or going on vacation or something, you know. If I'm not too far from home, maybe I can make it and take it with me, you know, as long as I don't have to, you know, fly. But I came up with my Korean spicy slaw quinoa. And I'm telling you, once the food is only thing is cooked is the quinoa. So the other parts are raw vegan, but the quinoa is cooked. But after I cook the quinoa, I don't heat it up again. And the slaw, I make it by boiling the water, and then I take the water off of the heat, and I put shredded slaw, usually green cabbage, shred it up in the water and cover it up. And then I put, of course, some of the ingredients in there. So let's get into Mac's Korean spicy slaw with quinoa. All right, this is my Korean spicy slaw with quinoa. And of course, I have my special sauce there. All right, this is the same special sauce that comes from the vegan veggie rolls. Now, I use 3 beans in mine. I love red beans, so red kidney beans is one. Then you have garbanzo beans. And then I think I used a pinto bean in there. But you know, you can use whatever beans that you like. But this just happened to be my choice. Sometimes I may use edamame or the soybeans even in this dish. And then, of course, the way I make it, I use canned. Okay, canned beans are great. Because what I learned, all canned beans are pressure cooked. And you want your beans to be pressure cooked, or else they're not going to be digestible. They're not going to be easily digestible if you don't pressure cook your beans. So I always buy canned beans, and what I do, especially with this dish, is I put them in like a strainer and I wash and rinse them real good. You know, that way any sodium that's in that can, you know, it gets washed off, or at least some of it get washed off. And then I just drain them and set them to the side. Now let me pull up the ingredients so I can go over this with you all. This is Mac's recipe right here. Now you need, of course, quinoa. I've kind of evolved from brown rice. You know, I think when I originally ate this dish, they had brown rice in it. But what I've been finding out is brown rice is not as healthy as quinoa. Quinoa is loaded with vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that brown rice just don't have. And another thing with brown rice, you may want to be careful. In the United States, California rice is probably the safest rice to eat, because other rice, especially that's grown in some of the southern states, are contaminated with some of the toxins from the soil. Okay, so according to my research, California rice, brown rice, whatever, is probably safer to eat than any other rice that comes from somewhere else in the United States. Now, outside of the United States, if you get it from India, that's a good rice. You know, any type of rice that's from India. You know, and then of course there are other places, but I just want to let y'all know that about brown rice. So I evolved to quinoa, and I love quinoa. It only takes 15 minutes to cook quinoa. Now y'all remember, I'm not a cook, and I still don't like to cook, but I know I can boil that water. What I do is I boil the water for the quinoa. Once it starts boiling, I put the cup of quinoa in there, stir it up, and then I put the lid on it, and I set the timer for 15 minutes. And of course, you're going to turn down that temperature to like a simmer or kind of low, and let that quinoa cook for 15 minutes. Then you, of course, need to get your red kidney beans, your garbanzo beans, and like I said, sometimes I use soybeans or pinto. Just depends on how I feel, as the third bean. And you're going to rinse those beans off out of the can. You know, I don't cook mine, but like I said, my research shows that all canned beans are pressure cooked. And you need them to be pressure cooked so they can digest better. You know, they digest better when they're pressure cooked. And canned beans are pressure cooked. And I get a jar of kimchi. Okay, kimchi is fermented cabbage. It's a delicacy in Korea. Okay, I used to hear about kimchi and all that, and finally, you know, I started eating kimchi. And that's all it is fermented cabbage. Okay, And I use it to just put on top of this dish. Because let me go over the ingredients for the spicy ginger slaw. You get 1 small head of cabbage and you want to shred it. And then I get some curry mix powder. Now, it's a lot of curry mix powders out there, but the one I get is a medium hot. I get medium hot curry, okay? And you only use a small, they can come in cubes. This one that I get, you like cut it. It comes in like a little bar, almost like a candy bar, and you cut it. So I just cut up maybe a couple of cubes of it. And then you want 2 cloves of garlic, okay? You get a small piece of ginger, about 1 inch, just like with the sauce, about 1 inch of ginger. And I take half of a lemon and then I extract the juice. I got a little juice extractor, I put the lemon on top of that. And you just need half a lemon. And then a teaspoon of ground ginger. You're going to get 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of Bragg's amino liquids, okay? You may have to go to a health food store to find Bragg's, that's the brand, Braggs. Some of y'all already know it and use it, but Bragg's amino liquids, and then 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And of course, I always get extra virgin olive oil. And then you want 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar and 1 tablespoon of 100% pure maple syrup. You want to make sure you get 100% pure maple syrup. That's a lot healthier than the Aunt Jemima and log cabin stuff. You don't want that. That's nothing but junk. And sometimes they may have the grade on the bottle, A grade or B grade. Now B grade is better. But if you can't find B, hey, go ahead and use A grade. It's just as fine. And then I just put a dash of pepper in there. Now, this is for the spicy ginger slaw. And like I say, I'm gonna put up a picture of it, or you can email me too, and I can send you the copy of this. Okay. Now, let me go over, well, actually, the ingredients for the special sauce I went over already with the raw vegan veggie rolls. Hey, Betty, why don't you talk to our viewers and tell them a little bit about your experience with my special sauce there?
The sauce is really tasty. One of the things that I like about the sauce is that it brings all of those combined ingredients together. You have the quinoa, you have the 3 beans, and then you have the slaw. And then you put the sauce on top of it. The sauce is made from bell pepper. And one of the things when he combines it all together and you pour it on top of it, it's very tasty. It's very filling. It's a great vegetarian dish that anyone can try. Even if you're not a vegetarian, you would like this dish.
And even if you're not a cook. Now, this is the big thing. I know I'm on a lot of groups that have vegetarians and vegans and pescatarians. And I hear a lot of questions from some of the new vegetarians and some of the new vegans of how can you make this healthy food taste good? Now, see, I am not a cook. I do not even claim to be a cook now, but Betty can tell you that it's not that difficult to make this food taste good. What's your take on that, Betty? I mean,
it's
when
not.
you started eating vegetarian food, and even this is actually what I call a raw vegan dish. Even though
Right.
the quinoa is cooked, I call it a raw vegan dish still because after the quinoa is cooked once, I don't reheat it. And the slaw is just its cabbage is put in boiling water, and I turn the heat off the boiling water and let the slaw sit in there. So that's not really cooked. So I consider this a raw vegan. So tell them about your experience, Betty, in eating vegetarian food. Does it taste bad or what?
No, it's actually delicious because prior to lust for preparing the meals. I was not vegetarian. One of the things, of course, that what he started doing was actually preparing the meals, and then I would eat it because we didn't have two separate meals. I mean, whatever he cooked, I would eat it, and it was very tasty.
Now, all of these dishes are nutrient dense, and let me just tell you some of the nutrients that you get from my Korean spicy slaw. Let's just go to the beans, because if you don't know, beans have lots of protein. Now, the red kidney beans, you can get anywhere from 5 grams to maybe even 6 grams, just depending on the brand of red kidney bean you get. And that's 5 grams of fiber. I'm sorry, 5 grams of fiber, and then 8 grams of protein. Okay, 8 grams of protein for your red kidney bean. Now, the garbanzo beans, you can get 7 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein. And then the edamame or soy, if I'm saying that right, they call it edamame or soybeans, you can get 4 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein. If you didn't know, soy has more protein than anything else out there. So when people are talking about tofu and why they don't want to eat tofu, okay, yeah, you know, sometimes, but you know, you don't have to be a stickler, especially people that are just starting to get into vegan and vegetarianism. You know, you all are coming from that crazy American diet. So I would say soy and tofu is okay. It's okay to eat that. You know, you're starting out. You're not 20 years down the line like I am. Okay. Now, see, I even still eat tofu. I just don't eat it all the time. I don't eat it every day. I don't eat it, 3 or 4 times a week. It might be once or twice a month that I make a dish with tofu. Okay. So I think that's fine because, you know, a lot of the things you're eating in the American, standard American diet is really what's keeping you from being healthy. So that's why soy has, it has the most protein. 4 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein in the soybean. And then the pinto bean, it has 6 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein. Now, I only use 3 types of beans. Like I said, sometimes I do use soy and sometimes I don't. I switch it out and use pinto. You know, you can figure out which ones you like best to make from those. Now, I call this my protein power bowl because you have so much. Just the quinoa alone, you have a lot of different nutrients, vitamins and minerals in the quinoa. Yeah, it's loaded. And then you got the beans, and then you have the spicy slaw, you know, which is good and healthy for you, that green cabbage. And then you're topping it off with quinoa. You're topping it off with kimchi. So just let me tell y'all how you load this. Once you have everything ready, you know, then you put the beans in a bowl at the bottom. Put your 3 beans, scoop you some in there, put it in your bowl. Then on top of the beans, you put your spicy slaw. You put the spicy slaw, put you a little bit in there on that bowl, and then you put the quinoa on top of that. Then after you have the quinoa in there, you take your sauce and you put Mac's special sauce on top of that. And after the special sauce, you want to get the kimchi. You know, if you like kimchi, some people may not want to use kimchi. Hey, that's fine. But it's fermented cabbage. And fermented cabbage is good for you because why? It has good bacteria in it, y'all. Yes. Bifidobacillus, acidophilus, all that. Yeah. It has good bacteria, good for the gut. So you put you a little kimchi on top, and that's it. Dig into that dish. And this dish is not heated or warmed up after you cook the quinoa and after you make the slaw. You don't heat it no more. You put it in the refrigerator and it's a cold dish because you want something nutrient dense, and it will stay nutrient dense as long as you don't heat it up again. Now I know I'm gonna have to say that 1,000 times for some of my family members because they're gonna heat it up. And I know one of them who will, probably Tony, if you watching this, and probably Karen. But anyway, it's a cold dish, y'all. You don't heat it up no more once you make the dish. Okay?